Hi, friends. Hello, hello. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. Today, we're going to have our live with me, attorney, immigration lawyer, Alina Shautsova. We will be discussing the most recent immigration news. And today, I'm going to be answering your guys' questions. Questions related to the United States immigration. I have about 16 years of experience practicing immigration law in the United States, helping families, employers, people who find themselves in peculiar immigration situations at the border to overcome immigration challenges. If you need to consult with me, please reach out to my office, 917-885-2261, and they will help you to set up an appointment, or you can do that directly on my website, shautsova.com. But today we're going to have a free session for those of you who have a couple of questions, one question, and just looking for a general direction as to what to do with the immigration issue or immigration issue of somebody you know. So please join me, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, type up your question so that in the end of my presentation, I'll be able to go back, read it, and answer it, right? Because that's what we're looking for answers. Hi, Jean. Hi, Lee. Hi, Aziz. Hi, Mr. Khan. Hi, Jack. Thank you very much, guys, for joining. Please, if you have such an opportunity, like and share this show so more people will be able to join us. Again, I hope you had a relaxing 4th of July if you're watching from the United States and you were celebrating 4th of July. I surely did with my friends. I hope you also did. And today, back to work. We're going to answer your guys' questions after I give a little bit of a short presentation, basically about what's happening with USCIS and on immigration. So first of all, you need to know that the United States Supreme Court, as they usually do in midsummer, rendered important for immigration decisions. A number of decisions, very important, mostly, I have to say, I have to be honest, disappointing decisions. For example, there was a decision about the DV lottery lawsuit. I have so many questions from all of you guys asking me what to do if, due to no fault of my own, let's say there was a pandemic, I wasn't able to collect on the DV lottery during the pandemic. You may know that there was a lawsuit, and initially it was doing pretty well, but the United States Supreme Court stated that people who lost the opportunities to collect the DV lotteries during the time of the pandemic and bans will not be able to get those opportunities back. Okay. Another important decision is about the fact that spouses, US citizen spouses who used to be able to sue the Department of State if there were violations of visa process connected to the immigrant petitions related to the spouse. If before they were able to sue, now they cannot sue. So another kick, right? Another kick against the immigrants' rights, because basically, you need to know that if you're going for that immigrant or non-immigrant visa with a U.S. consulate, you can't really sue the government if you believe that there was a violation of your rights or procedure, apart from forcing them to make a decision. When we do the mandamus lawsuit, you cannot sue for some other violations of your rights as you may perceive them, because you don't have a right for immigration benefit. It's a benefit. It's a privilege. So that's very important to know. It means you have to prepare very well. You have to work hard on your application and just hope for the best. At times, those denials are completely detached from reality, I feel like, right? And many of you probably experienced that firsthand, you personally or your family members, when you receive a denial for B1, B2 visa, you don't even know what happened and why, right? So that's important to know. And finally, there is one more important decision, but it's mostly important for lawyers who are practicing immigration law, because the United States Supreme Court stated now that courts have to independently determine if agency acted within its authority. Previously, there was a different decision saying that courts have to give discretion, have to follow the agency's interpretation of the rules. So it's like a lot of changing going on, changes that mainly affect your legal rights. And if you do not have a lawyer, it will be even harder for you to follow all those changes. Just keep that in mind. I know that lawyers cost a lot of money. Not everybody can afford one. Not everybody can find one on time. But just keep in mind that your chances with all those legalese and all those little tweaks that the system is undergoing, those changes will negatively affect you even more if you don't have a lawyer. Because even for lawyers, it's hard to understand what is going on, all right? Forget about regular people. Now, one interesting decision that came out this week was about students who can sue the government for setting up fake universities. Very interesting, right? That ICE in 2015, guys, set up a fake school enrolling students, giving them visas, but there were no classes. And then all those who participated, innocent people who participated in this situation, were charged with either immigration fraud or even criminal violations. So now innocent students who were victims of this setup were ruled to have right to sue the government, because some of them, they actually thought they're going to get classes. They paid tens of thousands of dollars in tuition, but didn't receive the classes. So very interesting situation. Things like this do happen also in the United States immigration. You need to know that. Okay. Now, if you guys please share the live, like it, I would be grateful to you for that. And now let's jump to your questions, right? I'm going to be answering your immigration questions so that your life will be a little bit easier, perhaps. I hope so. Hi, Ali. Ali is my very loyal follower. Is there any update about the undocumented immigrant plan for those living in the United States for more than 9 years and paying taxes? Honestly, I have not seen anything over this little break that we had that would give us hope that something solid will be in the works. If you did hear any news, if you saw anything online, let me know. I'll be very happy to review and comment on that. Hi, TLB. Can you please help me with this? I got my asylum application ready, but I don't know where to mail it. I got an A file and a master hearing in Memphis, Tennessee, but I do not know where to mail my application. If you have a court, TLB, it means that you will have to mail your application to court with a copy to the prosecutor. Luckily for you, and I did provide this little update during the week, the court opened electronic portal for people who are unrepresented and they represent themselves in immigration court in the United States to file the documents through that portal. So you just Google, in a Google search, immigration court portal for unrepresented. I'm sure something relevant is going to come up and you will be able to find that link where you will be able to register and start filing your documents with immigration court and the prosecutor, so that you will be able to file your paperwork, your asylum application, with immigration court. Now, one important thing, this coffee is bitter. One important thing, when you submit documents to immigration court by yourself, please make sure you follow something called Immigration Court Practice Manual. You have to have a cover sheet. You have to have your application. Then you have to have a table of content. And then you have to have your supporting documents, your statement in support of your asylum application, your passport cover to cover, your birth certificate with a translation, And then everything else that you would like the court to consider, statements of your witnesses, country conditions report, and so on and so forth. So it's a lot to prepare, but with time, you can do it. Now, if your 1 year filing deadline is approaching, at least submit your application with a copy of your passport, cover to cover, or birth certificate if you have them. Okay? So at least do that, and then you will submit everything else. Hi, Mr. Khan, please ask your question. I was submit a case in the year of 2010, and the case is still at National Visa Center. It's probably a family case, right? And that's why it's taking so long. In certain family-based sponsorship preference categories cases, your case, guys, is going to be pending for well beyond the 10-year mark. It may take 15 plus years. All right. Let's see. Hi, Lima. I'm first time trying to visit visa and embassy face but they don't tell me why they refuse me, my family, and my application has F4 category. Now what to do? Lima, you have to immediately consult an attorney. The reason why the visa was refused is usually given to be in writing by the consulate. And this way, a lawyer can investigate as to what happened and if you have a right for a recourse of some sort. But you should act very fast. Hi, the Duke from Olympia, Washington State. Yay. Hi, Babar. Are you working on a scholarship base? Not sure what that means. Please let me know. Hi, Mohammed. Please, can you have your WhatsApp number if possible? I think we do have WhatsApp. Sometimes we don't. But the best way to contact me, guys, is why don't you email your issue office@shautsova.com, all right? And see if you will need an appointment, or we can just direct you what you need to do without an appointment, all right? Okay. Hi, Alma. After being convicted of marriage fraud and receiving withholding of removal, is there a way of getting status? Interesting question. You know, Alma, I have an article on my website, shautsova.com, that tells you what to do. Do you have any options if you are convicted of marriage fraud? To my knowledge, your options are going to be extremely limited. One of them would be a U visa. U visa plus special fraud waiver. Okay. But you state also that you were convicted, not just found by USCIS to have committed an immigration fraud. Did you have actual conviction, criminal conviction? If so, you may want to see how you can challenge that with special motion to reopen, or perhaps a pardon. What can be done about the conviction? Because convictions may add a certain unwanted layer of trouble to you, such as crime involving moral turpitude charge, right? So I would suggest that you get a copy of your immigration file, a copy of your criminal file, and consult with a good immigration attorney to see if you would have any options in your particular situation. But usually it will be a U visa, a T visa. Hi, Kalur. Any update on parole in place? When will start or not end up in court like DAPA? I don't think they will be able to end up in court like DAPA. To end up in court like DAPA, you have to have a published rule. So I think what's going to happen is that the rule is going to be published in the end of summer, just like the government announced, right? And for it to be stopped quickly, a federal lawsuit has to be filed, and an order to show cause must be filed and granted. I think it's just not going to happen before the elections. All right, so what's going to happen most likely is that once the rule is published and the directions what to do are published, you'll be able to file your action. And if I had to estimate, probably within a month and a half. It gives you good time to prepare. One more time, I would like to remind everybody, guys, you need to prepare. You have to collect your documents, marriage certificate, birth certificates, records of you being here for 10 years, very important. Self-background check, preferably using FBI database. All this has to be done, so you have that package ready. When they announce it, you just run and you file. Now, my TikTok followers, let me answer some of your questions. Hi, Gurnam. Hi, JS. Hello. Hi, Peter. You are not a U.S. citizen. I am a U.S. citizen. Oh, I do not know. I know something, Peter. Peter is very rude. But Peter, if you correct your language and have some immigration questions in the United States, I'll be very happy to answer them. Hi, Mobin. My son sponsored me in November of 2022. How long it will take to approve my I-130 and I-45? I'm in the United States. Well, Mobin, if your son is a U.S. citizen, and that would be the only time a child can sponsor a parent, those who have a green card only cannot sponsor their parents. I do not know why, but that's just the law in the United States. So I would say that it takes a little bit too long for you guys. Are you overseas? If so, what country? Have you ever had, but you said approve an I-45 you filed as well, so you have to be in the United States. Usually, when a child is sponsoring a parent, it takes only a year to get your green card. Now, if you have something going on as 245I exception you're using, or you had some affidavit of support issues, or you had some previous immigration issues, that would take longer for the process. But judging by what you typed here, I think your case takes a little bit long, all right? Hi, user 726. I filed the I-601A waiver 2 years ago, and this year I filed VAWA, and the I-601 waiver is denied. Ouch. Why your I-601A waiver was denied, I'm not sure. But if you filed for VAWA, maybe I-601A waiver was denied because you indicated that you're going to go for adjustment of status, right? So they can do that. But you don't really care about that, because if you qualify for VAWA, you have a strong VAWA case, you will be able to get that green card without leaving the United States, right? So that's what's happening with the VAWA. If you qualify for Violence Against Women Act, it doesn't matter if you enter the United States with or without inspection, all right? So you don't need the I-601A waiver. Hi, XRP billionaire. My husband's I-130 finally got approved. How long does it take to approve I-45? Usually those two go hand in hand and get approved around the same time. If this did not happen, it means something is going on. Recently, people started sharing with me that they have the situation like that. When I-130 gets approved, but I-45 is not approved for a while. But I wouldn't tell you, I won't be able to tell you how long I-45 is going to take. You may have an interview if it wasn't approved at the same time also. So unfortunately, I won't be able to comment on that. Hi, Becky Jr. Removal proceedings dismissed without prejudice. Can I get my bond money back? Removal proceedings dismissed without prejudice. Can I have you should be able to, I think. Right? I think so. Hi, Joe C. Does associate degree included in Biden executive order? Are you referring to DACA people? What do you refer to? Let me know. All right. Okay. Hi, Joe C. Let me see if we have more questions. Hi, NATO CD. I have my green card for asylum. When can I apply for citizenship? 4 years and 9 months from the date resident since published on your green card. That's when you can file. Okay. Now, guys, ask more questions. Please send me more hearts if you're watching me on TikTok. Don't forget to like and share. Let me see questions from YouTube and Facebook. Oh, I have a lot of comments. Let me make sure that I have all of them. All right. Let me see. Hi, Has Abi. Notice of intent to take case off the court's calendar. I-360 approved. All right. So what happens here is that your case is going to be taken off active court calendar. If your I-360 is approved, chances are you can adjust without the court, right? Why don't you file a motion of file a request first for prosecutorial discretion, close your case, and then file for adjustment of status with USCIS? Because if your case is not going to be on active court calendar, it would mean what? That the judge is not going to get to the point when they can grant you adjustment of status. Okay? Hi, Jello. If you apply for asylum as an undocumented immigrant, can the government deport you before the court date? No. You have to have your date in court. Unless you had something else going on, but there is also a procedure for that. Let's say you already had an order of removal against you, right? And they file to reinstate a previous order of removal, then it will be very fast. But if you have your date in court, you should have your date in court, okay? Hi, the Duke. What happens if your sponsor of EB lets you go while your I-140 is still pending? Well, it's been pending for 180 days. See if you can port, all right? Perhaps you can do that. I didn't get your answer about scholarship base. I have no idea what scholarship-based case is. I'm so sorry. I just do not know what that means. Okay. Well, let me see what else we have. All right. Hi. Hi, Eid. If you can help me, I won DV Lottery 2022 and I didn't have my appointment at the consulate. Oh, that's exactly what we spoke about just now. I believe, unfortunately, you lost your chance to collect on that DV Lottery. And what's going to happen is that you will have to participate in future DV Lotteries to be able to get that free immigrant visa or green card to the United States. It's very unfortunate that it happened this way. So no fault of your own. You won the DV Lottery, but you lost your ability to come to the United States within the time prescribed by the law. DV Lottery rules, guys, are very strict. You're either collecting that visa and entering the United States within the prescribed time, or you lose your chance. And the law, unfortunately, does not care if it happens not because of your fault, okay? Hi, Kacho. How long can you cancel a green card after marriage fraud? The thing is this. If you married somebody and you believe they married you just for the green card, you, as an individual who sponsored them, cannot cancel their green card. It doesn't work like that. Only the government can do that, okay? If the person already got that green card based on your sponsorship, you, as an individual, cannot cancel that green card. It's not possible. Now, what can you do about that? What is the fraud? Because the thing is this, you sponsored somebody. You submitted documents under the penalties for perjury that the documents were accurate, information was truthful, and so on and so forth. So you really have to show that there was a great deceit in everything. But another issue is that when you were petitioning the person, you were also executing certain documents, saying they were true. For example, you stated that you guys had a true marriage, right? That you probably lived as a spouse, a spousal marital union with the other spouse. So I think it will be a very difficult case for you to prove to the government that you became a victim of fraud. You have to know something. A person who is a non-citizen is allowed to have dual intent. They may want to marry you for love. They may cheat on you. Cheating is not fraud, okay? The person just turned out to be horrible. But fortunately, it's not an immigration fraud. An immigration fraud maybe would take place if the person lied to you. If, let's say, they were not free to marry, you married them and you found out that they actually have a spouse, right? Legally, they have a spouse. If they stole someone's or assumed someone's identity, that's it. That's maybe. But other than that, just because you found out that they never had those feelings that were promised to you, but rather they were aiming for the green card, it may not be enough for the immigration fraud. Okay? Okay, so you just need to know that. I mean, it's a tough situation, and I know it's very, very upsetting. The worst out of all of it, the worst consequences out of all of the situations is that you, as a petitioner, still on a hook for that affidavit of support that you executed when you were sponsoring somebody who turned out to be, a fake you. Abuse. All right, if there is an abuse in the marriage and you are a US citizen or lawful permanent resident, obviously you cannot file for anything with immigration authorities because you already have your status. But if you believe that you are a victim of abuse, please submit your police report. If the person is actually convicted of domestic violence, then the government has right to put them into deportation proceedings. Okay. ILT, what about the petition of the son to the parent who are in the United States but out of status? If a son is a US citizen, is petitioning parents who are out of status, but they had status at some point, that's fine. Parents of US citizens, just like spouses of US citizens, are considered to be immediate relatives. It means that the law automatically forgives them for overstaying their visa, for working without authorization. There is a difference, however, between being out of status, they had the status at some point and lost it, and never had status when they entered without inspection. Then it's a tough case, okay? Usually it can be fixed by either parole in place for military members, right? Cancellation or removal, or 245I. Those are the usual options, okay? Do immigrants have rights in other countries? It's a good question. I do not know. I mean, each country has their own rules and stuff, but I know that in certain countries, it's easier and a little bit more fair, perhaps, to deal with immigration issues. I know that there are countries, for example, where a person who overstayed their visa may hop back into a legal status if they pay a fine, right? Because it's an administrative violation. It's far not and should not be treated as a criminal violation. Immigration status is an administrative status. Criminal responsibility usually comes when a person is morally, in addition to guilty by the law, they're morally guilty of something. Now, you come in to the United States and you overstay your visa. Do you believe that you have to be criminally liable for that? Or do you believe that if you admit your fault and pay a fine, you should be allowed to come back into legal status? You let me know what you think. All I can tell you that there are countries in the world where it works and everybody wins. An immigrant pays a fine, gets back into legal status. Now they can do what they want to do, right? The government gets the money and everybody's happy. I think it would be a great way to handle the issue, right? And I know many immigrants who would be happy to do that. Sometimes I hear opposition saying it's unfair and it's unjust to charge immigrants money. Maybe. But you know what? It's a way to fix the issue. A person who knows that, yes, they did something wrong, but not necessarily criminally wrong, they can pay up their way, they can contribute to at least the budget of the United States, get back their status, and then get a green card. That's a way out of them from this situation where a person feels boxed in for years and sometimes decades. If you disagree, that's fine. Please comment, let me know what you think. What you think would be the just solution for a situation where a person would stay in the United States illegally for 10 or 20 years, would have a family with children who are very legal, born in the United States, would pay their taxes. We're talking about people who are paying taxes, working sometimes, doing very important jobs, construction, sometimes construction for the government, work for the hospitals, and so on and so forth. Even babysitting, I feel it's very important, right? Babysitters are extremely important. They take care of our children. What do you think should be the solution for such people? Deport everybody or give them a chance? Like, realistically speaking, what do you believe should be done? Let me know. Hi, Maximus. Now overseas, temporary green card expired. Been over 5 years, no bills, US or US citizen spouse wants a divorce. How to come back? If your temporary green card expired, I guess you had a 2-year green card. The petition to remove conditions from the green card can be filed even if you're overseas, I believe. All right, but you said 5 years passed, or 5 years passed from the time you left the United States, or 5 years passed since expiration of your green card. If 5 years passed from the time you left the United States, you may still get back to the United States based on that extension that you receive automatically once you submit a petition to remove conditions from your green card. But I would have to review the facts and advise you better after I see the documents and see what exactly happened between you two, why your marriage is falling apart, okay? And why you stayed for such a long time overseas. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? All right? Let me know why you did that. All right. Thank you very much. Kamran, Imran. Hi, guys. Hi, Serge. Thank you very much. Okay. Hi, Murtaza. If you guys have more questions, please ask them. I want to file for VAWA. I'm in Ghana. You can file for VAWA from overseas only if you actually resided with your US citizen spouse in the United States. You need to know that, okay? I have a silent green card since 2021. When can I apply for my citizenship? 4 years and 9 months since the date, resident since printed on your green card, okay? How long does it take to process green card application for spouse of a green card holder? Great question. We need to look at the visibility. I think visibility has a year and a half right now delay. I believe the current priority date is August 2023. So if we just follow the same pattern, probably it's going to take you about 2.5 years, okay? Can you apply for naturalization with dismissed criminal charges? Yes, but you'll have to get prepared for that naturalization interview very well, because just because the criminal charges were dismissed, but you admit, let's say, to the officer that you committed a crime, that would not, completely be not a problem for you for immigration purposes. What happens is that for immigration purposes, a person can be regarded as convicted of a crime when either there is a conviction from a criminal court, or the person admits on record to the officer that, under the penalty of perjury, that they committed a crime. So imagine such a situation. You have a dismissal in your hand, but you go for that interview and they ask you, so what happened? Tell me what happened. And you say, yeah, I did this and this and that, but I had such a good lawyer in criminal court that they were able to get me off. You are convicted for immigration purposes. All right, just keep that in mind. And I do not know what happened in your case. You could have been completely innocent. I'm just giving you an example. Okay. All right. Hi, Maximus. The spies was fighting with me. It was better to leave. I didn't file any reports or complaints. I'm sorry to hear that. All right. I'm sorry to hear that. Also, the question would be why you had to leave the United States opposed to moving out and living somewhere in the United States. As I said, there is a little chance that you may return, but then you will still have to fight for your case. You need to know that. Those conditional resident cases, guys, are not easy. You need to know that. Sometimes you get a conditional residence very fast and you think it's 1 to 3, but it's not the case. When the time comes to remove the condition, it can be very hard. Just please, please, please know that. Hi, Aid, I believe I answered your question. I don't think I'll be able to help you to use that DV Lottery 2022. It's just way too late. And considering that Supreme Court decision, I don't think we can do much. But if you want to be absolutely sure, you can consult with an attorney, me or some other immigration lawyer, presenting them copies of your documents. Hi, Danny Sanchez. Is it better to file N-400 when I-751 is delayed or wait for I-751 is processed? It doesn't matter, actually. If you believe you have a strong, true case, go for N-400, ask for a demand that USCIS adjudicates that I-751 that you submitted previously at the time of your naturalization interview. Just bring your spouse too, okay? All right. Yes, okay. All right, I have some questions in Russian. Hi, John, I have some questions for you. John, if you would like to have a consultation in person, that is subject to a fee. I do charge money for my consultations that I provide on an individual basis and confidentially. To book that, you will have to call my office, 917-885-2261, or go to my website, Shautsova.com. Okay? Yes. All right. For somebody who's watching me and uses only Russian, я консультирую людей на платной основе, когда мы делаем это частным образом. Чтобы получить консультацию, вам нужно забронировать время на моем сайте shautsova.com. Вы можете выбрать время, день, и тогда мы с вами встречаемся по интернету. Если вы хотите персональную консультацию, это будет в моем офисе в Саясе. Hi, Annie. Married to a permanent resident, February 2024. How long does it take to get approved? Just because you got married, unfortunately, is not getting you any status, guys. To get status, you also have to file for it. Hopefully, you filed for it. You filed your adjustment of status package. Presuming that you are adjustable, it should take you anywhere from 8 to 11 months currently, usually, in most cases, to get your first green card. Well, guys, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining me this July 5th, 2024, right after July 4th. I hope you had a great time. Please like and share this video. Sign up for my channels. Follow me so that next week we're going to meet again. Maybe there will be something interesting and exciting happening in immigration law, because the time has come right before the elections. We're all waiting for some fun, exciting immigration news about the reform. I'm sure something will be given to us. So thank you very much. And again, stay in touch. I hope to see you soon.